Bangladesh Supreme Court scraps job quotas after deadly protests. Please like and subscribe for latest news updates. Bangladesh top court scraps most job quotas that triggered deadly protests. On Sunday, Bangladesh's Supreme Court removed most of the quotas in government jobs that had sparked deadly protests across the country. At least 114 people have died in the recent days of unrest. The Supreme Court's Appellate Division dismissed a lower court's order and decided that 93% of government jobs should be based on merit, according to Bangladesh Attorney General A.M. Aminuddin. Students have stated that they are not involved in the violence and arson that occurred since Monday, Aminuddin said. I hope that today's ruling will restore peace, and those with bad intentions will stop provoking violence. I will urge the government to identify and punish those responsible. In 2018, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government had removed the quota system, but it was reinstated by a lower court last month, setting quotas at 56%, which led to the protests and a harsh government response. Internet and text message services have been suspended since Thursday, cutting off communication for nearly 170 million people as security forces crack down on protesters defying a ban on public gatherings. Soldiers have been patrolling Dhaka streets, with army checkpoints established after the government imposed a curfew on Friday night. The streets near the Supreme Court were quiet after the decision, with a military tank stationed outside the court's gate, as shown on TV. Earlier in the day, local media reported scattered clashes between protesters and security forces. International phone calls mostly failed, and the websites and social media accounts of Bangladeshi media organizations were not updated. The government extended the curfew as it prepared for the Supreme Court hearing. The curfew, set until 3 p.m. on Sunday, was supposed to resume indefinitely after a 2-hour break for people to gather supplies, according to local media. Reuters could not confirm what would happen to the curfew after the ruling. Nationwide protests began after students opposed the quotas, which reserve 30% of government jobs for the families of those who fought for independence from Pakistan. The Supreme Court directed the government to reduce the job quotas for independence fighters' families to 5%, the Attorney General said. The remaining 2% of jobs under quotas will be for people from disadvantaged groups and the disabled. The demonstrations, the largest since Hasina's re-election for a fourth term this year, were also driven by high youth unemployment, which affects nearly a fifth of the population. High living costs led to deadly protests last year, months after Bangladesh sought a $4.7 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund due to struggling dollar reserves. Many opposition leaders, activists, and student protesters have been arrested during the crackdown, said Tariq Rahman, the exiled acting chairman of the main opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party. Police arrested Nahid Islam, a leading student protest organizer, on Saturday. Universities and colleges have been closed since Wednesday. The U.S. State Department on Saturday raised its travel advisory for Bangladesh to level 4, advising American citizens not to travel there. Please like and subscribe for latest news updates.